All good, Mark? Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We begin a new Shabbat together. Shabbat Toldot. The Shabbat of the generations. On page 128, in the middle of the page of our Sidurim, if you're at home or here in our sanctuary, in our Beit HaKnesset, we open with the words of Yedid Nefesh. God, not as someone distant, not as a king, not as a creator of the world, but God as a Yedid, as a good, a dear, beloved friend. In the middle of page 128, Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh Abarachamam, Yedid Nefesh Abarachamam, Meshochav Decha, Eretzonecha, Meshochav Decha, Yarara Lai Lai Lai, Eretzonecha.
During a good part of the year, we anticipate in our homes and in our synagogue receiving the Shabbat. But there's a time in the year, usually from November to sometime in March, that Shabbat precedes us. That Shabbat is already a reality even before we enter our sanctuary. That's why you see that our candles are already lit at that proper time. Because something beautiful about being connected to our Jewish tradition is being connected to the times of nature. Not the artificial time of our clocks, but the times of nature. When it's sunset, it's sunset. When it's sunrise, it's sunrise. But still, we are going to bless these candles that bring peace to our homes. I'm going to invite everybody to please rise. So together we can mark the beginning as we accept Shabbat in our lives with the blessing over our candles. And as a representative today, in representing all the community, I'm going to invite Stacy to say the blessing. Come. Surprise, surprise. We may be seated. Now we have the artificial light above us. and the light of our souls behind us. And together we are going to bring more light by singing each one of the 6 Psalms, one song for each day of the creation, starting on page 130, Lechu Nerana LaAdonai.
Lechu Nerana, Lechu Nerana, Lechu Nerana LaAdonai. Lechu Nerana, Lechu Nerana, Lechu Nerana LaAdonai. Naria, Naria, לצורי שינו נקראת מפנה ותודה. נריה, נריה, לצורי שינו בסמירות נריה לו. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני.
At the bottom of page 131, ישמחו השמיים בתגל הארץ.
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים בתגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים בתגל הארץ.
Iramaya,
Iramaya,
Iramaya, umlo. Iramaya,
Iramaya,
Iramaya, umlo.
Iramaya, 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 umlo. Iramaya, 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 umlo.
Light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. We are celebrating the 3rd day of the creation at the bottom of page 132. Or Zarua, Latzadik.
Or zarua latzadiko ish lev simcha. Or zarua latzadiko ish lev Simchot tzadikim b'Adonai, 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 behodo lezecher kodesho, lezecher kodesho.
Zarua,
Tzadiko lishelev simcha.
Mismor shilu Adonai, shir chadash ki niflahot asa. Sing to Adonai a new song. On page 134, together, Zambru.
Zambru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor bekol zimra, b'chatzotzot bekol shofar. Aryu lifnei hamelech Adonai, miram hayam umlo, tevel ויושבי בה, נהגות יבכה וכף יחד, הרים ירננו לפני אדוני, כי תבל ויושבי בה נהרות עמך וכף יחד הרים ירננו
אדוני מלאך ירגזו עמים יושב קרובים תנות הארץ. At the bottom of page 135, the last line of Psalm 99, רוממו.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו רוממו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להקודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו
If you have young children or grandchildren, or if you are in social media, and if I do this, you have been hearing, right? 6, 7. This annoying thing that nobody knows where it comes from, I think it comes from an old Talmudic debate about in how many days God created heaven and earth. 6, 7. You have those rabbis that says that God created everything until the 6th day of creation, the one that we are going to sing right now on page 136, and that he culminated the creation with the creation of us, with human beings. Those are the rabbis that says 6 days of creation. But there's still other rabbis that says no. The creation was not complete until the day of Shabbat. On Shabbat itself, God continued to create. He created menucha u'shalom. He created rest and peace. Nothing physical, nothing that we can see, nothing that we can touch, but maybe what we try to achieve in life. 6, 7. In how many days God created heaven and earth? Depends. 6, 7. If you only live for what you can see and touch, the answer will be 6. If you really understand that the crown of the creation and our lives is peace and rest, Shabbat, Menucha, and Shalom, the answer is 7. So for the 6th day of creation, on page 136, Mismor, LeDavid.
מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבול בעוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו ישתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים ולכבוד אדוני על מים רבים בירי ביפי פרפה
עוז לעמו ייתן. אדוני יברך את עמו בית עולמו בשלום. May God grant strength to his people. May God bestow on his people. Shalom. Peace. On page 138, when we really want something, when we really need something, we do not wait for that to come to our life. We go to that encounter. And as a people, every Friday night around the world, we go to greet and to receive the Shabbat like the groom goes and greet the bride to bring her to the huppah. Lecha dodi likrat kala, on page 138.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור ודיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו לתפארת בלי תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה.
לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייכם לה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך על יד ונשי, ביתה לחמי קורבה אל נפשי גאה עלי.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת
נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה.
לא תבושי ולא תקלמי, מה תשתכחי ומה תחמי. בחייך צו עניי עמי, וניבת העיר אל תהילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, ירלי, 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 בני שבת נקבלה.
Please rise and let us face the entrance of our Beit HaKnesset, our synagogue and our homes, to receive our beloved ones, to receive the blessings of Shabbat, the blessings of peace, of shalom, and menucha, and rest.
בואי ושלום, עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצערה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, יאללה יאללה יאללה, בני שבת נקבלה.
נא לשבת, please be seated. That was a good way to receive the Shabbat. Sometimes you can feel the energy, the ruach, the need to receive Shabbat. Not every Friday it happens, but I felt it just a few seconds ago. Now that the Shabbat is here, the Shabbat has entered our lives, we sing to this very special day of rest. On page 140, מזמור שיר ליום השבת.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וכינור, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן, מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
At this moment, we have the privilege to hear some words of Torah by our colleague, the rabbi at TBO, Rabbi Stephen Snyderman, and then some more melodies and song by Andy Sussman.
Since everyone at this time of the year is thinking about Thanksgiving, I have tried to connect Thanksgiving to this week's Torah reading. Now, how have I done that? What do most people do on Thanksgiving, and we'll leave out the football games and everything else? They eat, okay? Now, what are we supposed to give thanks for? The fact that we have food to eat. Where do we read about food in this week's Torah reading? Well, one of the themes in this week's Torah reading is how Jacob snatches the birthright from his brother Esau and then his father's blessing. And instead of talking about the details of that, we're going to talk about how Esau ate. Inappropriately, I'm going to say, after he got that stew of lentils from his brother. Here's what happens. He gets the food. Let's be specific. It says quite clearly in the text that he had bread and the pot of lentils. I'm going to focus on bread in a minute. Why bread? And I know this is anachronistic, but in the rabbinic tradition, which may not have existed at that time of Esau, before he ate the bread, what was he supposed to do? He was supposed to wash and say the appropriate blessing. Does it say that he did? No. Does it say that he didn't? No. But since we are trying to discredit Esau in every way, since he didn't say anything about it, he didn't do it, and that's to his discredit. Now what happens? In these 5 verbs, boom, 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 v'yochal, v'yesht, v'yakom, v'yelech, v'yivez. He ate, and he drank, and he got up, and he left, and he scorned the birthright. Boom, 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 boom. What didn't he do? When he was finished eating, he left out the Birkat HaMazon. Exactly. So when I have been asked on many occasions over the years to give an example of a Jewish prayer of thanksgiving, and sometimes the question comes in a rather aggressive way, do you Jews ever give thanks for anything? And I say all the time. The Birkat HaMazon is about the best example that I feel I can come up with. And since we are trying to discredit Esau, we say he didn't do that. Now I can give many more examples to make this point, but I have another point I want to make too. We have to eat turkey on Thanksgiving, right? Oh, I'm glad somebody agrees with me. Because the House Un-American Affairs Committee will do a thorough investigation for those who don't eat turkey. But turkey has such a powerful effect that I'm going to talk about 2 groups of people. First, vegetarians. Now, there is such a thing as vegetarian turkey. You know, vegetarians have made such an effort to create food that looks like and tastes like meat, so eat the meat and be done with it. Stop trying to fool anybody, but still. Now, the second thing, and this is a very Jewish issue, look at the amount of people who go out of their way in order to have turkey to find a kosher turkey. In fact, grocery stores that normally do not carry kosher food all the time make sure there are enough kosher turkeys around. We have taken that custom of eating turkey on Thanksgiving and making it Jewish. Now, the good way of referring to this is that we are merging the elements of the larger society into Jewish practice. We're taking it and we're making it Jewish. It's a kind of inward acculturation, internalizing and transforming a practice in the general society and making it our own and legitimizing it from a Jewish perspective. And whether you agree with me or not, let's put it this way. We need to give thanks for everything that we have, and not just our food on Thanksgiving, but our food all the time. And the fact that we're able to get up in the morning and put our feet down, God willing, and stand up straight, and that our bodies function, and that we are able to eat, and that we are able to enjoy our families together. So let us turn Thanksgiving away from that secularized Thanksgiving, which some of us enjoy because however it started off as a custom in another religion, it became secular. And let's try to do what our ancestors have done through the ages, taking things from the general society and making them Jewish. So, having mentioned the Birkat HaMazon.
So I have a abridged Birkat. The words are Brich Rachamana, which means blessed is the compassionate one, Malka de Alma, sovereign of the universe, Mare Dehai Pita, master of this bread. That last word might be familiar, Pita. Brich rachamana malka de alma mare de hai pita. Brich rachamana malka de alma mare de hai pita. You are the source of life for all that is, and your blessing flows through me. You are the source of life for all that is, and your blessing flows through me. Brich rachamana malka de alma mare de hai pita.
Shabbat Shalom. Oh, yeah, no, you do that too? Yes, because you see the multilingual puns, where we say Hodu Ladunai. Okay, praise to God. Now, what does Hodu mean in English? Turkey. Yes, a multilingual pun. Actually, there are probably 3 languages involved in there, but that's another story. Thank you for reminding me. I should have mentioned that.
Please rise. On page 144, to mark the beginning of our evening service with Hatzi Kaddish.
יתקבל ויתקדש שם רבה, ולמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, ועגלה ועגלה, ובזמן קריב ואמרו, אמן ישמר רבה מבורך, לעולם לעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתבהר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שם מקודשה לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמידם ועלמה ואמרו אמן.
Continue on page 146 as one community, praying together with the Baruch.
Yada lai lai lai, 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 yada lai lai lai. Yada lai lai lai, yada lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Can you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Barecho et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Leolam Vaed. Yada lai lai lai, 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 yada lai lai lai.
We may be seated. On page 148, as we prepare at this time for the Shema Israel, please join me in the middle of the page in English for the Ma'ari Barabim. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gate, thoughtfully alters the time, and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in the heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other, Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever living God, may your reign continually over us into eternity. Baruch Ata Adonai, Amar Ib Arabim.
Amen.
The second one of the blessings on page 150 is the blessing of love, how to receive and how to give love in our lives. Ahavat Olam Beit Israel, Amcha Ahavata Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim otanu limata. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shokbeinu bekumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'dibrei toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha leolam ba'et. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, והם נהגי יומם בלילה. בעבדך, אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Please rise as we close our eyes to declare the unity of God, the unity of humanity, and the unity of our destiny. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Ba'ed. Please be seated. Page 154. Join us for the Ve'avta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם. בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אמת ואמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו כי אדוני אלוהינו ואין זולתו. All this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. As Moses, Miriam and all Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyfully. On page 158, the song of redemption, the song of freedom, the Micha Mocha.
Yada lai 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 yada lai 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 yada lai 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 yada lai 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 yada lai 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 ai lai lai mi kamocha bailim Adonai mi kamocha nedar bakodesh nora teilot osefele מלכות חרב בניך, בוקע לפני משה, צליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם בעת. ידה לי, ידה לי, ידה לי, ידה לי, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. On page 160 of our Sidurim, of our prayer books, the song that we add is an addition During the morning, we do not say this blessing. We only add it at night when we ask God in times of literal darkness, spiritual or intellectual or emotional darkness, to let us feel a little bit more safe, protected. Ashkiveinu on page 160.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu malkei shomreinu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim.
פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ותגננו טובה מלפניך. Spread over us the shelter of your peace.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים ועל ירושלים ועל ירושלים אמן.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, the guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Let's declare the sanctity of the day of Shabbat on page 162 with the Veshamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
In a few moments I will invite in this spiritual and physical exercise to stand up again. But before we do so, just one word before the Amidah. I've been teaching a class every Wednesday that some of you are part, learning the basic concepts of the Mishnah of how to pray. And we discovered that during the week, at this moment of the Amidah, when we stand up, we have 3 introductory prayers of praise, and then we have 13 bakashot, 13 requests to God. But on Shabbat, our rabbis say, forget about them. Forget all the requests, all the things that you need. Change it only for one blessing. The blessing of having Shabbat in your life, and give thanks. So if you use the words of the tradition for the Amidah, starting on page 164, concentrate on that prayer, on that blessing, giving thanks for the Shabbat. And if you are going to open your heart to God and pray with your own words at this silent Amidah, just only words of thankful. Only words of being thankful. No request at this time. Please rise. As we also discussed by the question of one of our students this last Wednesday, so if that's true, that we do not ask requests for God on Shabbat and only words of thanks, how do we do the Misheberach Lacholim just after that? And I taught my students that the rabbis did not like that idea, and they pushed not to do it. But the congregations pushed the rabbi, say, you know what, Rabbi, I don't care what the Jewish law says. We need to pray for our friends and relatives in need of healing.
Misheberach Avoteinu Mekor Abraham Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing. Let us say, Amen.
משברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, אמותינו שרה, רבקה, רחל ולאה. הוא יברך וירפא את כל החולים בתוך קהילתנו. The one who bless our ancestors, please bring healing to all our friends and relatives. This Shabbat Kodesh, we ask refuah shleima for Miriam Blima Bat Reisel, for Uriel Yosef Ben Keren Or, for Bobby Siegel, Phyllis bin Elas, Kenny Pomeranz, David Christ, Scarlett Pardo, Sandy Grotsky, Nisa Wallen, Ivan Pelton, Tanya Plaut, Mark Packer, Eduardo Ben Malka, Andy Perez.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We may be seated. Shabbat Shalom. I'm talking about illness. According to our tradition, the first one who was ill is one of the key characters of this week's Torah portion, Yitzhak. Yitzhak is like, no offense, like the middle child. Sorry, I said no offense, so you cannot get offended. We usually talk about the great Abraham or even Jacob, the one who became Israel. And Isaac was just there. There's not too many great stories about Yitzhak. And usually most of their stories around him are tragic stories. And most of the stories are not only tragic, but he's not even active in those stories. He's passive. A few weeks ago, in the Qaidah, when he's almost sacrificed, he doesn't have even a word. And in this week Torah portion, everybody and everything revolves around him, but he's passive. He's already old, and he is blind. He's the first character in the Torah that we find that he has some type of handicap. He's blind. And we have here with us every Shabbat Alan, who is almost blind, right? And he has his dog. And I'm sure it's a challenge. But most of us have the blessing to be able to see. And every morning we say, "Blessed are you, God, who gives sight to those who are blind." But what type of blindness is the blindness of Yitzhak, our father? According to the Ramban, according to the Nachmanides, he was just old and he became blind. That's why he doesn't know that Jacob is impersonating being Esau. He cannot see. Why? According to some rabbis, just the law of life. He got very old and he could not see any longer. And look at the difference. When they need to say about Moses that he's 120 years old, the Torah says, and his eyes did not dim. It could be natural. One answer is Yitzhak was just blind because of his old age. But our rabbis share different interpretations how and why he became blind. And I would like to share with you 3 ideas from the Talmud and the Midrash about how he got being blind, if there's no other biblical characters, even though they were much older than him. And they are not said to be blind. Number 1, I title it, Blindness for Seeing or Refusing to See Evil. It says in the Talmud, Rabbi Elazar said, "Whoever gazes upon the image of an evildoer, his eyes grow dim. Isaac became blind because he looked upon Esau, the wicked." So for me, the first lesson about another type of blindness is the blindness when we decide not to see the evil around us. What do we do when we have someone in our family, like was the family of Isaac, his own son, according to the tradition, he was evil? What happened if we have someone around us, sometimes someone that we are supposed to love, somebody that we love, that is just evil? What happens when we have something and someone around us that we do not like what they do? Something in our tradition that we seriously do not like, something in our country that we seriously do not like, but especially something in our family, in our group of friends, something that we are not proud of. We become like Isaac. We become blind, so we avoid seeing the evil around us. It's kind of a mechanism to protect us. It's like looking to another side, and we all do it. Especially with people that we love, with political parties, or candidates that we like and we vote, we become blind. When there's something that truly we are not supposed to like. Either we say this does not exist, or we close our eyes. Yitzhak loved so much, and look and pay attention to the Torah, and the Torah is smart. It says that Yitzhak loved Esau. And because he loved him so much, he needed to become blind, not to see the evilness of his own son. Second possibility. He did not become blind to avoid looking at his son and the evilness of Esau. The Midrash share, for me, one of the most beautiful Midrashim in the entire Jewish tradition. He became blind by the tears of the angels at the moment of the Akedah. When he was about to be sacrificed in that rock, he was gazing upon heaven, and he saw the knife of his father, and the angels also saw that image from heaven, and they started to cry. A father that was about to execute his own son because God so demanded, and they started to cry. And those tears blinded Isaac. Tell me if not a beautiful image. Powerful. Many times we became blind because of a trauma. And this is an exact example from our Holy Torah. For Isaac, that encounter and seeing his father about to kill him was a traumatic experience. And he became emotionally and spiritually blind. From that moment on, he's the most passive character in the Torah. He does not go to find a wife because he's unable to find love if his own father was willing to give him away. Somebody needs to find a wife for him. He's not able to connect with his own kids. We do not see either one interaction, one conversation between Yitzhak and Esau and Jacob, because maybe Yitzhak was not able to love because of that traumatic experience. Many times the trauma that we face in life can make us blind too. Those traumatic experiences define how we see the world, or how we avoid seeing the world, not to be traumatized again. And last but not least, third possibility that the Midrash gives us. It says in Tanhuma, the smoke of Esau's wives who burn incense to idols enter Isaac's tent and dim his eyes. What is this kind of blindness? The toxic environment that we live. Sometimes it's not just one traumatic experience. Sometimes it's not just fooling ourselves and avoiding to see the evil in people and institutions that we love. It's just being in contact with moral pollution. It's a slow erosion, smoke that accumulates in our eyes, and we just start seeing the world as we read in some magazines, newspapers, in X, in TikTok. If that's all the smoke that we consume, those news, those ways to express ideas, those extreme point of views that become mainstream because they're reproduced once and again, that becomes a toxic smoke. And this also blinds us. 3 ideas of deciding not to see and being blind in our lives. Avoidance. We sometimes refuse to face uncomfortable truth. like Isaac with Esau. Trauma, pain from the past can cloud our present vision. Toxicity, unhealthy environments distort our perception of right and wrong. We may have a perfect vision, 20/20, and still be blind. Blind to injustice, blind to those who need us, blind to our own faults, blind to the suffering that surrounds us. Thanks God, most of us, we are not physically blind. But I truly believe that these 3 midrashim are not just nice stories, are eternal messages by our rabbis to teach us lessons that go ledor vador from generation to generation, to ask ourselves the following questions. What am I choosing not to see? What pain from my past still clouds my clarity? What environments are darkening my vision little by little? Where I'm blind even though my eyes are open? Shabbat Shalom umevorach. Please rise. For Aleinu Leshabeach to start concluding our services on page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
We remain standing on page 598. Among us there's mourners and friends who are remembering their loved ones this evening. And together with them we're going to say the Mourners Kaddish on page 598. As a community we remember the recent passing of Leroy Moore. We also remember the recent passing of Stephen Greenberg, Stephen Perlman, and Lois Snyder. Also this Shabbat is the Yortzeit, the anniversary of the passing of Eleanor Bloch, Gertrude Dietrich, Harry Edelman, Sylvia Foreman, Sadie France, Samuel Gross, Basie Gross, Abel Jarns, Lawrence Laser, Arnold Lieberman, Saul Marmelstein, Michaela Mersak, Miriam Nechomas, Gerald Ratz-Evil, Louis Resinkoff, Gary S. Rickles, Samuel Rosenfeld, Melvin Schwalb, Hai Schwartz, Helene Finkel-Schwartz, Stuart Edward Soff, Julius Sonnenklaar, Edward Stone, Brian Saskind, Gladys Weinstein, and Rose Sakowitz. In their memory, together with all the mourners of our people, the Mourners Kaddish. Yitgadal behitgadash shemeh rabba, balmad yibrach chiruteh be'amlich malchuteh, בחייכון וביום אחד, וחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב באמרו אמן. יש מרבה מבורך לעולם עולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר, ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לאלה מן כל ברכתה בשירתה, תושבחתה בנחמתה, דמירם עלמה באמרו אמן. יש לומר רבה מן שמיה, בחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל באמרו, אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל באמרו. We may be seated, and we invite the first female president of our congregation, our dear Paula Carr, to share the announcements before we welcome our kids to conclude services.
It's been a very long time since I've been up here. But anyway, I'm very happy to welcome you all and to wish you Shabbat Shalom. There are so many messages in here, so many things to do. I hope you'll partake of some of them, especially the ones that about Hanukkah. There's so many that we can all enjoy together. I hope you will join us. I just want to mention that last night we were the hosts for the Thanksgiving service that we have in Plantation that includes several churches, as well as Ramat Shalom, Beth Israel. And it was a beautiful, absolutely beautiful service. It really was. The choirs from 4 or 5 different churches sang with our choir. There was a children's choir from several different churches and our children. It was a beautiful service. And one of the things that we did that I wanted to mention, because I couldn't get over it, was Rabbi Har and Rabbi Uri gave a tour of the temple, the sanctuary, the chapel, and the questions from, and there were, I would say, like 20, maybe at least 20 people from the different churches that went around, asked questions. It was so interesting, it really was. And I've been a member almost 50 years, and I learned things. So I think maybe we should do that. I think maybe we should have tours of the temple every now and then, and we could all learn something, because it was a wonderful experience. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom. I hope you all have a wonderful week and a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Just one quick announcement before we receive the kids. If you have not signed up for tomorrow night at 8 p.m., Yosef Haddad, a Christian Arab Israeli that goes around the world to defend the cause of the Jewish people of Israel and Zionism, will be here with a very famous Jewish comedian from TikTok and social media. It's at 8 p.m. You need to sign up. It will be a great, great event. And now that we receive the kids, we are going to receive the kids and the angels. I also want to receive our youngest congregants that we have every Shabbat here, our bat mitzvah, not mitzvah cohort of 2037. Liat is over there. Come, bring Liat. Aliyah, okay? Bring Aliyah. And somebody can bring Sarah too. God willing, all of them together are going to do the bat mitzvah with us in 2037. Let's see who is here at 2037. Together with all the kids, let's receive them and conclude with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borachem
Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech Malachi Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu Nil
Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon.
Melech
HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Sheitchem
Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon. Melech Malachim HaKadosh
Where's Sarah? I don't know. Sleeping.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו, באהבה וברצון, הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראת קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת, amen.
Amen. Can you help us with the motzi?
Yes. Wait a minute.
1, 2, 3.
מוציא לחם מן הארץ, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rising song together, as our joy for bread is set. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. מוציא לחם מן הארץ. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Stay for dinner. And if it's your first time here, come to say hi. So we can get to know you.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כה יציר נברא להתנשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה